Creating the optimal training split can sometimes be confusing, overwhelming, so my goal with this video is to make that process easier. Even though this is a confusing subject, pretty sure by the end of this video, you'll also understand how to prioritize your time and create your own split based off of your goals. I think we are constantly bombarded with the term optimal, and we think that if it's not optimal, it's not worth doing. And I think unless you're training full-time, optimal is actually off the table. So let's go ahead and get rid of the notion of what optimal is. Cool? I'd say start with a goal. What's your goal? My goal is to win the Masters World Championship at Jiu-Jitsu. That goal is then going to determine what I need to improve to accomplish that. So start with your goal.
Well, this is kind of funny because I'm running one way and a marathon is going the other way. Oh, that is what we finished up with. Wow, I think my brain's done if I'm putting milk up in the cupboard.
I do this by reverse engineering the attributes I need to improve to accomplish my goal. So while I'm using my own personal goals to create this workout split, make sure you keep your own goals in mind and just kind of follow along. I will say, however, I think a minimum of 3 times per week is what you're going to need to improve. You might be able to get away with doing less and improving a skill. It would take a very long time, but I think if you were trying to make any sort of physiological improvement, whether that's body composition or hypertrophy or strength, and we're talking consistent 3 times a week, that's not just for months, but possibly a year or more. Okay, so earlier I mentioned Dr. Peter Attia's cardiorespiratory protocol. That's 4 times a week of zone 2 and once a week of VO2 max. So I have to train at least 5 sessions a week for just cardio. Many of you think that cardio has to be like death by treadmill, and it certainly doesn't. If you look at my zone 2 training, my heart rate is so low, it's honestly so freaking boring. All right, so it doesn't have to be you dying on an Airdyne. It can be taking your dog for a walk for 40 minutes. Let's quickly talk about what I'm doing for zone 2 because honestly, it's so freaking boring and I've been experimenting with how to go about doing this. I used to do just the stationary bike, but that got too boring, and so I started picking up running, but my heart rate was so high running that wouldn't work. Holy shit, I suck at running. So this is what I've broken it down to. 2 times a week I'm doing stationary bike because it's just so easy to stay consistent with a heart rate. 1 time a week I will run, but I'm also walking. So just like a run-walk combination. And the last session that I do is with Henry, and I'll take him for a walk or just go rucking with him. Something easy that I can do for a long period of time.
We're at Tanner Park for a good old-fashioned ruck. I've got my bag on me. There's only like 10 pounds in here. But in the pursuit of better zone 2 fitness, I'm continuing on exploring new ways of doing zone 2 and stationary bike, run walk yesterday. Today we're doing a little ruck, and then tomorrow we're just gonna go for a really long hike.
I love this combination because I know I get 2 good sessions on a bike, but I also get 2 great sessions where I'm outdoors, and I really love that. From there, I know that in order for me to win a world championship at Jiu-Jitsu, my skill has to be incredibly high. And if you remember, prior to the neck injury, the video I made before that, I was doing 10 sessions a week. I think this is out of the realm of possibility right now, so I'm gonna stick with 5 and then ramp that up as I get closer to the world championship. Finally, on the totem pole of those attributes I wanted to improve, strength is at the bottom or the top, however you look at it. It's lower on the list than skill and cardio. So for me, to improve my strength, I'm gonna go 4 to 5 sessions. If I wanted to just maintain, I could do probably 2 or 3, but I wanna get a little bit stronger, and so I'm gonna need to overload and progress a little bit more with more sessions. Big thumbs up, we got our plan in place. And I think it's great that we have a plan. But if we're serious about improving, we've got to do more than we're currently doing. In strength and conditioning, we call this progressive overload. Maybe you've heard the term, but it just means each week we're trying to do a little more than we did the week before. And this can be a lot to keep track of, especially if you got a family and a job. Not only do you have to have your plan, but now we've got to keep track of, is it a push day? Is it a pull day? Is it upper body? Is it lower body? What weight, what sets, what reps did we use the week before? Now I can do it because I was a personal trainer for 20 years. Like I studied periodization quite a bit. However, I don't want to do it. It's like an absolute time and energy suck for me. And that's why I don't do it. I actually have somebody else do it for me. And when I say somebody else, I actually mean an app. I have an app do it for me. I've talked about this app numerous times. It's called Juggernaut BJJ, and it is the closest thing to personal training I've ever seen in an app. The reason I love this app so much is because it's a set it and forget it type of thing. I don't have to worry about anything. Basically, I can set my competition date and it will plan the entire program for me. And I know you might be thinking, well, it's jujitsu, so it's not for me. Trust me, as a personal trainer, this stuff is not only great for jujitsu, but for anybody. So if you're just starting out, if you're a regular Joe Schmo, I can't recommend this app enough. Speaking of apps, you guys know how big of an advocate I am for Whoop. It's just so simple. I wake up in the morning, I see my recovery, and I can kind of plan my day and my workouts accordingly. However, as much as I love Whoop and how great it is at tracking heart rate related metrics, it really sucks when it comes to like GPS and pacing. And now that I'm running a lot more, those are some metrics that I like to see. Plus, I don't like having my phone on me while I run. I'm actually trying to ditch the phone altogether. And so I've been using my Apple Watch Ultra even more. Now, one app that I found that gives me a Whoop-like experience on the Apple Watch Ultra is an app called Eclipse. I think I'm gonna do a bigger video on this app a little bit later, but I kind of want to give you a quick rundown of what's going on in the Eclipse app because I definitely think it's worth a look. The Eclipse app really focuses on balance, not optimal, which I really like. It's going to give you recovery, it's going to give you exercise or your strain, it's going to give you a readiness score. All of these things I'll talk about a little bit later in a more in-depth video, but it's very easy to track where you are to see what your effort's like. But then if you want to get extremely granular with the data, whether it's your recovery or how a workout measured up to a workout you've done in the past, it's very easy to see that. And my oh my, there is a ton of data here. So if you're a data nerd, this app is for you. Well, there you go. There is my training split. I hoped me explaining how I created mine also helps you out. And if you do have any questions, make sure you leave them in the comments below. I pretty much answer every single one. Also, if you like those two apps that I use, Juggernaut BJJ and Eclipse, Juggernaut BJJ is $20 a month. Again, it will pretty much replace a personal trainer, so totally worth it. And then Eclipse is a stupid low price of like $3 a month. So links are down in the description below. Thanks again for watching. If you enjoyed the video, if you found it helpful, please do me a huge favor and hit the like button and consider subscribing because it's free. But anyway, thanks again for watching. Catch you on the next one. Peace.